The police shooting of Sonya Massey in Springfield, Illinois was 100% criminal and avoidable. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the police-involved shooting of 36-year-old Sonya Massey in Springfield, Illinois. Now, the deputy that shot her is 30-year-old Sean Grayson. Now, before I begin the video, may she rest in peace and prayers out to her family. I want to say right away, this was 100% wrong, and there is zero justifying it. We're going to get to the footage. We're going to get to a word from the family. We're going to get to a lot. But first things first, here's an article about the situation. Deputy fatally shot woman over a pot of hot water. That's exactly what happened. We'll get into it in a minute. Says a deputy, Sean Grayson of Illinois, is charged with murder and has been fired. A review of the investigation did not find the use of deadly force justified. So he is in prison and he's not going to come. Well, he's in jail and he will go to prison and he won't come home anytime soon, in my humble opinion. Now, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Tillman over at Breaking Barriers United. You guys, please follow him, Instagram, wherever you can find him. He had a really good breakdown of this from an officer's perspective. So a lot of what I'm going to say right here kind of comes from his video. So shout out to him. Really, really good breakdown from an officer. Now, this is the guy, Sean Grayson, the 30-year-old. You see how big this guy is? Listen, him and his partner were pretty big white guys, might have played college football. There was no reason for them to have the guns out over this lady. Now, I'm going to link to everything in the box, but let's go ahead and get into the clip. I'm going to kind of skip ahead because it's 18 minutes, 55 seconds. I'll place the full thing in the description box. If you're on Instagram, go to the link in the bio, visit the corresponding article on my website. You'll be able to see it in full right there. But first, we're going to see the officer approach the woman at her house. She called the police to her house because she said she thought there was a prowler around her house and she wanted to make sure that she was safe.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get...
I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Now, let's pause right there. The reason why he may have been talking that way is because he could sense there's something going on with her mentally, and he has to be able to speak slowly so she can really pick him up. Because if you have a mental issue, you might not be able to understand things. You're thinking very rapidly. It's a lot going on. So you're able to process it better that way.
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. That's not your black car, though. The SUV? Whose is it?
Now, there's more here, but ultimately they think, from what I'm able to gather and what Ryan was saying, that something's wrong and they want to do a mental health check. So they wind up going inside of her home and speaking to her from there.
Perfect. What is your last name? Shouldn't have to think about your last name. You're not in trouble. I just need to text.
Massey.
Huh?
Massey.
You have an ID? Doesn't make things.
Now, he's asking for the last name, and she's kind of like not giving it right away. And she said Massey pretty clear. I heard Massey, but maybe he's just not really understanding. He doesn't really, never heard the name before. I don't know what's going on. But now he's like, okay, let's get an ID.
It's so much easier. I just need just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
I want to show y'all my paperwork.
I will get your paperwork.
What paperwork?
Okay. I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID real
Well, let's
quick.
get your ID first, and then...
One task at a time here.
Okay. Let me
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID.
And that's something else, like the whole one task at a time thing, because if you're dealing with somebody that has some kind of mental issue, if you're giving them too many tasks at once, it can become confusing.
Task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
You can stand that stack right there, maybe?
Okay. 1 second.
Just check on her.
Now, let's pause here. So the officer notices that there's a pot on the stove. You see right over there? It's a pot on the stove, and it's boiling. I don't know if it's just water in there, any other kind of food in there, but the officer who's further away is like, hey, go ahead and turn that off. Now, what the officer who has the body camera should have done was turn it off right when he went in there. You know, if you're smelling something burning or it's just, go ahead and turn it off. And you'll tell her, hey, Miss Massey, I'm going to go turn your water off for you. and then that'd be that. But what the cop did was pointed out to the cop that was with the body camera, but the woman got up. It should have told her, just go ahead and sit down. I got it. That's being Monday morning quarterback, but that would have been a better alternative to what happens next, which I'm not going to be able to show all of.
No, we don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from the hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Let's pause here. Now, I think right here, I'm going to have to stop the video. And again, if you want to see the full thing, I'll link to it in the box. If you're on IG, go to the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on my website. But they did not understand what she said. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Maybe they thought that was some kind of threat, like she was going to do something to him with the water. That's why he said, you better effing not. And he just immediately pulled a gun out. That's just going way too far. Rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You don't know what that means. Basically, long story short, and you guys, if you can correct me, if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. It's like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't claim that. I'm not going to manifest that. I don't want anything to do with it. Okay. If somebody sees you and say, hey man, you getting kind of big there, man. You about to be big as, what's the name? Our cousin, man. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I'm not going to do it. You don't want anything to do with it. That's what that means. It was not a threat against the officers to throw this pot of hot water from 8 to 10 feet away. Now, the water did wind up like right there at the boundary of the kitchen and the living space. So maybe she did throw it. Maybe it fell when she was getting shot by the cops, because ultimately she wound up putting the pot up and then it might have got thrown. I don't really know. But it was like right there by the meeting space of the living area and the kitchen. All right. Now we're going to go ahead a little bit here to see how they were talking afterward.
So, is there anything you think we can do for her?
No.
All right. I'm not even going to waste my med stuff then. You want to run down real quick?
Nope, not yet.
All right. House is clear. She was the only one.
Where's he going?
No, she had a boiling water and came at me with boiling water.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came at me with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here.
All right.
And that's where he's landed.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. I ain't gonna waste my med stuff. Then he said that she was crazy a little bit later. It was really bad. Again, I'll link to the full thing in the box, but it was pretty bad. He was very unprofessional. Maybe that's why he had been in 6 different police agencies in 4 years, from 2020 up until right now. So that's not a very good track record. Now, let's look at some more information. We're going to hear from the family, and we're going to hear a little bit more about this guy. Oh, did I mention he also had 2 DUIs in that period of time?
It's one of the worst police shooting videos ever.
State records obtained by CBS News show Sean Grayson, a 30-year-old former private first class in the Army, worked for 5 different law enforcement agencies in just under 3 years before being hired by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office last year. CBS News has also learned Grayson was charged twice with driving under the influence of alcohol in 2015 and 2016. He pleaded guilty both times. Ben Crump is an attorney for Massey's family.
Why was he even hired by the sheriff's department?
And you know what? Let's pause right here. Let's just pause, because I know this is going to be used as some kind of way to say there shouldn't be qualified immunity for cops, which wouldn't even apply here because the guy's in prison, or he's going to go to prison. He's in jail right now. So that wouldn't even apply here. Then they're going to say, you know, it's just police brutality that's rampant, all this, that, and the third. Listen, all you're going to do by keep attacking the police is to ensure that guys like this who shouldn't be on the force are on the force. What do you think is going to happen when there is a shortage in available officers? They're going to start to get a big reduction in quality. That's how that happens.
DUI conviction is not a disqualification from law enforcement in Illinois. Today, some of Massey's family members accuse the sheriff's office of trying to initially cover up what happened. Now, Massey's father is demanding Sheriff Jack Campbell resign.
I think it's a culture to treat this family this bad. If it were not for that camera footage, they'd have lied their way right out of this. So he needs to resign.
Rest in peace to Sonya Massey, and prayers out to her family. Really sad situation, shouldn't have happened. The cop is in jail, going to prison, exactly where he should be. Listen, I'm going to add one last piece before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Some are saying that the shooting was justified because she threw the pot of boiling water at him. Seriously, are we really going to say that? She was not right next to him to hit him immediately, like a close range or dumping on his head. She was about a good 10 foot away. They closed the distance to actually shoot her. If they would have just stayed back, she couldn't have actually reached him. The pot maybe got thrown. It didn't even go into the living area. It pretty much stayed in the kitchen right beside where she was at. You think she got the strength to be able just to throw this water on you and burn your skin off? I mean, come on. There was no need to even have the gun out. There was no need for the gun. You could have just handled that with a little bit of finesse, a little bit of care, a little bit of empathy, something, rather than just pulling my gun out and shooting you over a pot of water. Even if the water did hit your feet, you got boots and pants on, it wouldn't even hurt you. I had some hot boiling water fall on me recently on my arm. I didn't even get burned. You guys just got to stop. That was a crazy shooting. And the guy is, like I said, where he belongs, in jail, going to prison. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the shooting? Do you think it was justified for a pot of water on the stove from 10 feet away? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This was 100% a wrong shooting. I'm going to always call out something when it's right, wrong, whatever. I'm going to always say what the reality is. And I got to add one last piece here. I don't like those who say the police are the problem and they're killing us in our communities. Man, please. We got 50% of the homicides in this country committed by black people on other black people, despite us being 13% of the population. How are the police the problem when we are killing each other off at a very high rate, higher than anybody else? I come from the hood environment. The police were never the problem. It was us. It was the people that you got to worry about. It was your neighbor you got to worry about, not some random white cop you never see, barely. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.